After I realized that Lobo was not an ordinary fighter, as I was fighting him I thought I might need to get a bit serious. I've got more powerful over the years and I know more than a few tricks, but this guy is stronger than I thought he would be. I'm pumped, this is exciting. I haven't fought or sparred anyone this strong since Dad and my wife. My siblings have actually sparred a lot of really strong people. This guy isn't that powerful, but I will admit for a guy that trained on his own he's pretty powerful. I've never found another guy in this universe that could actually hurt me besides Dad. I said to Lobo, you're strong, but you can't beat my father. He's stronger than anyone. I sparred and trained with Dad for years. There's no one stronger. And then I felt Dad before I saw him and he teleported in and he hit Lobo so hard that his head spun all the way around and Lobo fell to the ground dead. And I said, hey son, are you okay? And I said, hi Dad, this guy is stronger than I thought. Did you kill him, Dad? And I said, I wished, but son, it's not that simple. That man is truly immortal and he can't die because he caused a lot of trouble in heaven once, so much so that Dad didn't want him and he just laughed at everyone in hell when they tortured him. He even enjoyed it. No one knew what to do with him in the afterlife, so he was just given immortality because no one else wants to deal with him. And I asked, does grandfather know him? And Dad said yes. And then Lobo said, so that's what you look like? You like that other pretty boy over there but with purple eyes like a puppy dog? I frowned and scowled. Then I completely incinerated Lobo to ashes. And then Goku said, Dad, you killed him. And I said, son, it's not that simple. Like I said before, he can't die, he will just come back. And then Lobo said, your dad is right kid, you can't kill me. And then Goku screamed, Dad, he's a ghost. And I said, I know Goku, I know Lobo, I know who he is. Dad used to talk about him and how wacky he is. He's basically the closest thing to a cartoon character in this universe. And then Goku said, oh Dad, you mean like those silly shows we used to watch a long time ago? And I said, yes son, those. Lobo is like a real life cartoon character. And then Goku laughed loudly and Lobo said, I am standing right here, you assholes, and I can hear everything you're saying. Could you give me my damn body back please, Beander sir? And I said, say that again please. And I stuck my phone recorder in his face and he said, please give me my body back, Beander sir, and get fucked. And Mazaikin laughed loudly, this is the guy you were talking about? And I said, yes ma'am, this is him, he's fucking funny. And I said, are you going to behave, Lobo, and listen to my offers? And he said, yes fine, now please give me my fucking body back. I needed to go fuck a good woman later, so now please. And I gave him his body back and then he started checking everything and he checked to see if he had a penis and he said, okay fine, we're good now. About that deal, I want 10 trillion cosmic dollars and one of those nice nearby planets with the force field. And I said, done. Is there anything else you want, Mr. Lobo sir? And he said, yeah, can I get a shiny new bike made of that first divine metal you got? I always wanted one of those. He smiled with a lewd expression and he said, hey, can I also get a fancy girl bod like you got? I always wanted one of those too. And I made him a replica of Android 18 and I gave him all his money and he said, well, that's it, thanks and pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Beander sir. I'll be going now, kid. And hey, could I get a fancy house on the prairie, you know, for the new missus I just got? And I said, okay, anything else? And he said, no, I just need a new house on my planet and that's all sir. And could you make that an immortal planet? I wanted that big one. What's it called? Saturn. Lobo smirked and I frowned and scowled. Saturn is my planet, Lobo. You can have one of the other ones. You're not getting Saturn, Lobo. You can have one of my smaller planets. You can have Uranus, it's big enough. And Lobo said, fine, I'll take it. And he smirked, just come to build my fucking house, god boy. And then I said, don't push me, Lobo, I can still drop you off in a void somewhere all alone and you will have no one else to talk to forever. And Lobo looked at me in an angry face and said, you wouldn't? And I said, try me, asshole. Now leave, go to your planet, I'll be there soon. And Lobo said, okay, see you fuckers later, I guess, or never. Goodbye, come on sweetie. And Android 18 giggled cutely and squeaked cutely and he said, did you hear that, fellas? I think she likes me. Yeah, I'm not leaving my planet for a long time. I think I'm in love. Told you I like blondes, kid. And Callisto frowned as he winked at her. And then his new Android 18 model that I created got on his spaceship bike and they both went to Uranus and he said, thanks for the bike, by the way, loving the new force fields technology. And he laughed out loud, I'll see you later, Beander Gator. And I said, I have to go to Uranus now.